Hi everybody, it's Megan Turner, LCSW with Project Thrive CT. I'm coming to you today for our fourth vlog to talk about being the spouse of a frontline worker. Originally, I was going to have a couple of special guests come on who were nurse anesthetists, one working at UConn and one working at Yale. However, with their crazy schedule, specifically, I know, it's really difficult to find time to kind of fit in extra projects when they're really trying to make your families and their patients a priority and are serving our communities in so many ways. So I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on my special guests to find a way to fit us in the schedule. So I really wanted to just come to you today one-on-one. So I don't even know where to begin. This one's heavy, guys. This one touches home. It's not going to be as clinical as the other ones. I'm really not going to be giving you guys a lot of strategies. I'm really just going to be trying to connect with you all through some self-disclosure. I remember in grad school, they're like, no, don't engage in self-disclosure, boundaries. And I'm kind of, that goes against my whole clinical approach. I really try to connect and share pieces of me when it's appropriate to do so. And I feel like during this time, it's really appropriate to give you guys my perspective. So my husband is an EMT. He's been doing this for over 10 years now. It's something that he is very passionate about and very good at. He sees traumas and horrendous things and gut-wrenching things, really, on a daily. And even before all this happened, for frontline workers, whether it's EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, police officers, nurses, doctors, to not have some form of PTSD based off of what they're seeing and exposed to, or a high burnout rate, I would be surprised. We kind of hear with police officers the hiding behind the blue curtain. There are certain things that we see and experience together, but we won't talk about it outside of our community. It stays behind this curtain. And I feel like a lot of frontline workers, even therapists at this point, have been exposed to so much, and they really need the support, and they really need somebody to vent to. And as spouses, we become that person, and we have to really make an effort to be there for them and be available to them when they need us. And that's not always the easiest thing to do because we're dealing with our own stuff. I think that, for me personally, what I'm trying to create in my home is just a safe environment that is comforting, that is relaxing, that, when he is home, he can do the things that he enjoys and have the time to do the things that he enjoys in order to unwind, in order to kind of decompress from the day. And whether that's giving time to go fishing or giving time just to sit and relax or, play some music on his guitar, whatever it is. I'm really trying to allow time for that. I think, I want to be there for him and I want him to talk to me about those things, but I also don't want to go into that therapist role where he feels like I'm analyzing him and he feels like I'm trying to be clinical and trying to, intervene. It's not my place to intervene. It's my place to be there for him and be available to him if he wants to come confide in me, if he wants to share the stressors of his day. I can't force him to do that. And I think that's where maybe my struggle is as a therapist, is that I want to help. I always want to help. I've always been the helper. But in certain situations, I can't help unless the person wants me to. So that's been kind of a fine line to walk throughout this whole thing. I think what's difficult for me is, what he's reporting firsthand and what he's seeing, and that stress and how it impacts him is very different than sometimes what we hear on the news or the media. So trying to balance that too, where, sometimes we see a really optimistic standpoint that numbers are going down and, on the May 20th, things are going to go back, or at least phase 1 of going back to normal. And then, when I talk to him, the report is different. Although I have to say this week was the first time I actually heard him say, well, we didn't have to gear up in full suits for, every case that we went on today. And that was huge. That gave me some sense of optimism. I think, again, they're in it. They're in it all the time. They are putting themselves before everybody. I think I said that wrong. So they're putting everybody before themselves is what I meant to say. So they are making sacrifices. They are making decisions to work overtime. I know one of my special guests, she, confided in me and said, I feel like it's important that I go in and I pick up the extra shifts because the people that have families, I feel like they shouldn't put themselves at risk, and I don't have a family yet. So I feel like I should be the one going in and doing their shifts for them. That's huge. That's powerful. That's empowering. I have so much respect for that and that mentality. And I feel like combined, that is the mentality of these frontline workers. They are in it to protect everybody. They're selfless. They are pure of heart. You kind of go into these careers because you want to help people, but in times like this, in times of mass chaos and unpredictability and stress, they step up. They've proven it times and times before. There's a fire and people are running out and they're running in. I have so much respect for that. I just wish, as a spouse, there was more I could do to support him. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. But again, we can't unless they say, hey, we need this from you. If we're too pushy or we are kind of always asking questions and having them replay the traumas of their day, we're only adding to that stress. We're not reducing it. And I think sometimes we want to overcompensate or we want to over-communicate because for us, that eases our anxiety. We want to know so we can fix it. But like I said, we can't always be problem solvers. We can't always fix things. We just have to be present and available for them and be in the moment of agony, the moment of frustration, the moment of despair, the moment of anger, whatever it is. Just be present for them. Allow them to hug you. Allow them to just melt into you in a way that brings them peace and comfort for however it may be. It could be 5 minutes, 10. Maybe you're in an embrace for 20 minutes and you don't realize that the time is passing. Just be there for them. That means more than anything. I think this is a difficult one, guys. So I'm struggling here because it's bringing up a lot of emotions for me. I know we mean well. We all mean well. And I'm seeing the community come together to support all of the first responders or the frontline workers in ways that I haven't seen for years. And I think that's great. But it needs to extend beyond this pandemic. We need to step up to the plate and support them as they always do for us. It can't just be this temporary boost of morale, this temporary boost of support, because once again, they showed us their true colors. Their true colors of being heroes. Their true colors of being nurturers and caretakers. We have to show them that we value them every day, every single day. And I can even say that just as spouses. Sometimes we forget to value our spouse or how important they are to us or how thankful we are that they go to work every day or how thankful we are that they take care of the kids or they take care of the house or they ensure that emotionally we're cared for, yet we tend to be selfish sometimes and we don't do the same for them. We take advantage of the fact that they're always there for us. I know I have. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make anybody a bad person. It makes us human. We tend to kind of go through life with blinders on because we just need to get through it. And we forget how to appreciate and take care of the ones that we love. I know that throughout this, there are people that are struggling. And if you're watching this and you're struggling and you don't have anybody to reach out to, please call 211. 211 in Connecticut has a lot of resources, whether it's for therapy, addiction, domestic violence. Call them. They will be there to assist you. If you are struggling and you say, I don't think I need to take it to that level, but I would really like to confide in my spouse, approach them. Sit down with them. Say, hey, honey, I just need 5 minutes of your time. I just want to let you know what's going on with me throughout this. And I don't need you to say anything. I just need you to hear it, and I just need you to be there. There's something that we used to do with my clients called news ball. And whoever had the ball could share some piece of news or a feeling. And before you share that, you ask whoever's in the circle with you to respond to the news you're sharing in a certain way. So kind of in that same realm, you can say, honey, I have this piece of news that I want to share with you, and I want you to react to it by just giving me a hug, or by saying thank you, or saying I hear you, or don't say anything at all. Just say I love you. But being open with our spouses during this time is really important. Just be vulnerable. Let them be there for you, but only to your comfort level. And remember, to whoever's on the other side, you cannot fix everything for them. You just have to be available and love them and show them that they're appreciated. Give them time to decompress. Give them time to relax. Don't bombard them with a million questions when they get home. Their jobs are so high demanding, both physically and emotionally, that we have to give them that time. Let them come to you. I know that this wasn't very educational. I hope you guys got something from it. This video is probably the most difficult one for me to do. If I can get the special guest on again at some point, I will definitely try, because I really would like you to hear their perspective of what it is to be a frontline worker and how this has impacted them. I kind of gave you the perspective from a spouse as well as a therapist, but you know your spouse best. Just like I told you last week, you know your family best. You know how to communicate with them. You know how to approach these subjects. But the biggest thing you can do is be available to them in whichever way they need you. And don't put too much pressure on yourselves to fix the problem. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope this was useful. Next week, I'm going to kind of come to you with a kind of check-in, see how we're doing, really kind of tie in the past 4 weeks or so, review the skills that we've learned, and maybe brainstorm some ideas for vlogs that would come out in the future. I hope to see you then. Have a great week. Bye-bye.